Well, hello everybody and welcome back. My name is Joel.
I'm Dawn.
And this is A Stable Life. It is so good to have you guys back with us. We are now on day 2 of Hay Barn. Today's the day where we officially pick the spot. That is going to be the spot where the barn is being built. So we have a fancy tool called a transit. None of us have used it before. Well, she has a little experience with it. I have no experience with it, so I'm going to learn how to use that. The route on our way up to where the hay barn is going to be has some trees that have grown, well, pretty far into the path. Not to mention there's a pump that's here. And that pump, I'm pretty much always going to have to work around. It's going to just be in my way the entire time. So we're going to move the trees. And I'm going to put gloves on because I've done this enough to know that doing this without gloves is a bad idea.
Is Leia out here?
Yeah.
Where'd she go? Oh, there she is.
What do you mean, where'd she go? She's exploring.
She is exploring. She's gone. She's like, bye, see ya.
And no, I'm not leaving the branches over here. I'm just getting them out of the way for now. That looks better. Now I just need to get these hoses out of the way. Okay, very good. Hoses and tree removed. Now I won't scratch my truck when I'm coming through here. Good deal. Well, there we go. Now we're in the horse pasture. I'm hopeful that the horses aren't mean to my truck. Please, honey, be nice to my truck. So this is the other spot that we are potentially thinking of. Other than that, it's gonna go right where they measured out in the other video. So we're just gonna give this a run for its money and see if it's possibly better.
Starts really kind of amping up here, so you want to be the one that walks or the one that holds?
I'll walk.
Okay. It is 100 foot, so it will start tugging. Don't pull past 100 foot.
Okay. Measuring out 100 feet. Oh my goodness. 77 feet. There we go, 100 feet.
Even if this is not too bad, that's going to be bad.
Right.
All right, one more spot I want to try down here.
Okay, I'll roll it in.
I think right there, stop. Tell me when we're at 30.
21, 26, 28, 29, 30. That's 30 feet.
Downhill too much here?
Way too, I mean, you go either way.
Ruin more pasture, come into it and go in?
Yeah.
Oh gosh, he's got your bag. Just drop it and run.
Oh my goodness, he threw the strap out of the back too. You having fun there, Weather? Huh? Come on, get going. Get lost. Get lost. Oh, he got the drill covered. Look at that. Thank you, Weather. The benefits of working inside the pasture with the horses.
What are you doing? Go find somebody to play with. Go play with your friends. Go on.
Okay, so we didn't even really need to get the transit out to figure out that up there didn't work and over there didn't work. So now we're gonna get the transit out to finalize this section here. And then once it's finalized, we're going to put the fence. This was where we originally planned on putting the barn. And that's why this is here. But upon getting the transit, which is not something that we own, it's actually something that a friend of ours has that let us borrow, we realized that, what was the elevation difference?
On this direction, it was beyond a person standing on top of a person.
So it was like 12 feet?
Yeah, something like that.
Like 12 feet of drop coming this way.
We'll have to fill in dirt.
So now we're gonna be, instead of going like this, we're gonna be like this, which we found minimizes things. So I don't know, let's see what this is. Let's do it.
Voila.
Wow, fancy. Looks like it's a telescope.
A little bit, right?
Huh.
Yeah, you look through this end, and obviously you take the cap off that end, and you have to sit it on right here's your
So you know you're level.
Oh, you're level and you're balanced. And when you're level, see that if I pitch it
Oh,
one way or
okay.
not, it goes.
Okay.
I want it that way. And that's why we need the tripod.
Tripod.
Okay. Here's your string so that you know that you're on your mark.
Oh, well that's fancy.
Yeah.
I just wanted to show you guys, it took me 10 minutes, but I got it perfectly level. And I'm a good 6 inches off our mark.
That's all right. You know what we're going to do? It's our first one. So we're going to do this. There. Now you're on the mark.
Wow. Thank you. All right. So now what do we do? Now that this is perfectly level, everything's set up.
So then we get our length. So that gives us a ballpark, okay? That you are 48, maybe.
What are we measuring to, the eye level?
Yeah.
56 and 3/4.
Like
Yeah, right in that area.
All right. You want to be the guy that reads it or the guy that holds the...
What do you think is better?
I'll
You
go.
did this before. If you think it's better for you to read it and me to be the guy that goes.
No, you read it.
Okay.
I'll go.
All right. Okay, it's on the ground.
I'm going to stand in front of the orange ribbon, but you're going to look for the orange ribbon.
Do I look through this?
Yeah.
Should I take the cap off?
Yeah, that might be good.
Okay. Well, this is kind of challenging to do, holding a camera and everything. So I'm going to show you guys down here, because I got to focus there. I gotcha. According to this, you're just above the 4-foot mark. Go down, right there. So this area over here is 6 inches higher. Okay, that's like the best we've seen so far. Yep, 6 inches we'll take. Okay, now that we have our mark, we've learned that this area up here is 6 inches higher than over there, which is way better than 12 feet. We have 2 marker posts put in with flags, and we're running a string directly across. This is going to be a side of the barn. We don't know if it's the left side or the right side of the barn. I'm honestly thinking it's going to be the left side, the lower side of the barn, but that's exciting. Something. We're going to really do our best to make sure we have all our ducks in a row on this one so that we have minimal issues.
All right, that's our one wall.
Woohoo! Are we saying this is the northern or the southern wall?
I'm thinking it's the northern.
Yeah.
When we went down that way, you see how it really...
Yeah, it really drops off. Okay, so northern wall, so this is on the left. We're going to do the southern wall next, which is on the right.
Okay, want to go on the ground with that?
Gotcha.
Do you want us to pitch this way, this way?
Well, we want to make it 30 feet direct off because this is our corner, right? So it has to be straight.
Yes, so we could go 30 feet here, we could go 30 feet here, we can go 30 feet here.
Go left a little bit. Sorry, right. Keep going. Stop. Right there.
Now let's get our square out.
Square, that's this.
Well, that's going to shoot you. You could do any angle. Do you have does it have a thing on there that tells you what is?
Has like degrees.
Okay, then that would be important because then we would want to go 90 degrees.
Yeah, so that's 0, 90. So you can change it, and I didn't do anything. I don't know how that helps. Okay, so now I'm familiar with this tool enough to understand. We use this to mark the exact spot, which if I moved this pole, that would be exactly where it needs to be. Then there's a mirror right there to tell you the bubble. These 3 little guys underneath move the level on top of this to make sure that this scope is perfectly level with your mirror. This fine-tunes your mark on your degrees. So as you can see, guys, we have our first mark at 0 degrees, and then this is for the scope, so you can perfectly see. I don't know if the camera has the ability. Oh, it actually does. If I could get the lighting right. Yeah, sorry, that didn't work out too well. But anyway, that's 0 degrees. So now we're going to do 90 degrees from here. So I'm gonna take this, and I'm just gonna turn it to 90, as you can see right there. Boom. And then we would use this to fine tune it so we don't touch that anymore. Now we have that exactly right. And then what we're gonna do is we're just gonna make sure that's exactly level in the mirror. So we're perfect, 90 degrees exact. And then I'll tell her where she needs to be for her mark. Ready?
Ready?
Okay, there we go. So now we are at exactly 90 degrees. And that is exactly 30 feet from this corner post. So we've got 100 feet that way, 0 degrees, 90 degrees. We have 30 feet going this way. So this is the opening. This is where our entrance to the barn is going to be for the tractor and for the equipment and for people. Good job, Mom. That is like exact. Like we don't even need to worry about the post being off at all, so long as the horses don't move it.
Don't move it. So there's our 30 feet. There's the opening for your barn.
Okay guys, we have our 4 corners for the building. It's right there, right there, right there, and right there. These little plastic posts aren't that good for the corners, so we're putting in metal ones. I never brought an extra battery, so sorry for the different look, guys. We're using a phone camera instead. We used to not have this tool. The way that we would do this in the past was we would have one person with a sledgehammer and the other, well, they would hold the metal post and hope that they got good aim. So this is a lot nicer that we have this tool now. So there's our 4 metal posts, and then we'll put the smaller white plastic ones in around. The horses are actually doing a really good job of keeping out of it, and the key is they have food. There's no reason for them to be in here other than being mischievous, and they'll stay out of this so long as they realize that it's more work than it's worth. But that should give us plenty of room all around to work on the actual barn. Next, we're gonna run a string to all 4 posts, and we're gonna do what's called string level. So that'll give us our angles to make sure everything's completely square. And then that'll tell us exactly how much elevation change we have in the ground, where we need to dig, where we need to add, all that kind of stuff. There we go, guys. Fence is complete. Got a good amount of distance here around the barn. And then this right here is the barn. So that post way over there is our corner. It's going to run all the way over to here, and then this is our next corner, and it's going to run all the way over to there, and this whole thing here is going to be the barn going up high. So this side on our left is going to be our like control side, and then we're going to be digging in going this way, and then we're going to continue to dig in out up to here, because right here there's going to be a road that is going to be put in to go up to the side of the barn for the tractor to put hay in for the horses, and also so the horses can walk back and forth across. But the road's mostly for the tractor. And then we're going to be putting in some drainage because we are downhill, so all the water will get captured in drainage and then run underneath the barn. And I'm going to have to angle up to the original slope of the ground, so that'll come in handy with the box blade. You can imagine regular ground, and then we're going to start contouring down to the road, where the road is going to angle in, so that'll be where the water all sits and goes into the pipes. The road's going to be angled kind of like this, coming across to here where the barn will be, and then all the way across to over here, and then this side here going around and up is going to be all a road to come in and out. Kind of crazy, huh? All right, next up we're going to be doing the line level. So how does this work?
Okay, so we're going to run the string all the way around all 4 corners. I have enough string to do that. And then we're going to put these little levels, and they hook onto the string, and they'll tell us what's level, which will give Joel a real good perspective of where he needs to take ground out and where he needs to put it back in.
Yes, that'll be good. All right. Whoop. Go up on your side. Keep going. Keep going. Keep going. Keep going. Keep going. Okay, now we got movement. Almost a little bit more. A little bit more. Perfect. Right there's your level mark. Okay, well, we are done for now with our measurements. It's looking like what we're going to need to do is I'm going to need to come down about maybe 5 or 6 inches on this side, only because the ground kind of humps up. So I'm kind of taking out the hump in the middle there. And then on the right side, also known as the southern side, we'll have to come down about 3 feet. That's what we're thinking right now. We're both kind of hungry, so we're gonna go get some grub and we'll return to this so that way we have our exact measurements in mind. But there's our fencing. That isn't gonna move anymore. And there is our exact 4 corners. That is exactly where the barn's going. So that's kind of exciting. I think I'm also going to call the tractor dealership, get an update on where my equipment is, because I really am going to be needing that box blade here soon. Running out of time. Also, we have exciting news. When is our shipment arriving with all of our building materials?
Friday the 13th.
So we're excited for that. Definitely hoping that nothing bad happens.
What could go wrong?
What could go wrong? Nothing. Nothing's going to go wrong. It's going to be fine. We're looking forward to that. That is going to be a huge shipment. That is going to take my entire day, I think.
Absolutely.
And
unloading that, making sure that we've got everything.
Counting everything, yeah.
And that it's not wrong, yeah.
Yeah, so that's going to be a big one. We also will need to figure out the logistics of getting that here.
Down here to the field, yeah.
Yeah, because I don't think the truck driver's going to be willing to drive here. Back to the good old camera. All the horses are now in for afternoon feeding. I actually turned the fans on for that section because it's a bit warm. It's 75, so in here it's a little bit more like 82, 83. So Got the fans on to keep them cool. Just thought I'd show you guys how things look from up here, because it's kind of crazy how much area is kind of fenced off. There you go. So that's our construction site. The plan is that tomorrow, Mom and I are going to go back down, and I'm gonna actually start digging along the southern wall, and we're just gonna dig down maybe about 6-8 inches, maybe a foot, and the full 100 feet length. That way we can re-put our sticks and stakes back in, because we have to dig in just enough that we can actually get a proper reading on our line levels. Because right now, what we have to do isn't working. And by that I mean that the ground is too high on one side, that we go, if we're running the line level, say here, and we're going across off, it's too high for us to get a proper reading for how far we have to go down. I mentioned earlier, we're trying to go down about 3 feet, but we want to be exact. So we know exactly, like, so, as an example, we're going down 2 feet, 3¼ inches in this specific spot for 5 feet. And then the next 5 feet, maybe it's 2 feet and, you know, and 10 inches or 11 inches or whatever. So that way we know exactly where we are, and then I'm gonna mark with paint exactly where I need to go deeper, where we don't need to go deeper, so that way we can keep it level. It'd be really nice if we had a bulldozer with a satellite on. You could do all that in half an hour. That would be done, but we don't, and we don't have that in the budget, and we don't have any friends that have something like that. So we're doing it this way. You work with what you got. Our longtime viewers know that is something we are very fond of, and it's worked out pretty good for us so far. A little hard work don't kill you. I'm just so ecstatic that we're finally here. Well, maybe these videos have been a little bit more on the shorter side, but no worries. I have a feeling we're gonna have some really long ones coming up. So those that like the long videos, you're gonna be happy. Those that don't like the long videos and like the short videos, basically what I'm getting at is everyone's gonna be happy, hopefully, as we move on. That being said, we have arrived at our question of the day. So let's take a look here and answer some questions. We're gonna be answering questions from the video, Something New. That was a good one. All right, we got a question from Warderving, I think is how you'd say your name. Well, the question is, what kind of vehicle does Gavin normally drive? And the answer is an SUV. That's the usual thing. That's, I think, what pretty much most people drive normally now in the United States, is just an SUV. Not many people have experience driving trucks, and those that do don't really know how to drive them, from what I'm seeing. So, and even fewer actually use a truck as a truck. But that's 3 other topics that are all on different things. But that is what he drives, is an SUV. Got another question from Nadia Fonseca, 8876. We go through a lot of fuel with all the equipment that we use. Do we get fuel at the farm? And if so, how does the fuel get there? Yes, there are 2 large tanks of fuel, and it is a special type of fuel. It is off-road diesel. So it's dyed differently. It does mean you can't use that in any trucks that go on the road, but it's perfect for tractors. We get a monthly delivery from a bigger truck that comes and fills up those tanks. During peak season, which is planting and harvest, they'll get a delivery almost every 2 to 3 weeks when things are going pretty intense. Then there's times where it'll be 2 months before we get another delivery. But yeah, that's how that works out. I know exactly how big my fuel tank is on my tractor. So once that reaches the point where it needs to be filled, I mark that down, I ask them what the rate is, and then we just pay them based on the diesel we use for our tractor here at the stable. But good question. Well guys, hey, thank you so much for watching. Please make sure you hit that like button. Consider subscribing. We've got more that we got to do, always. Also, this is going to be the second video in our hay series. I'm going to be updating the titles so you guys know exactly, you know, in line. And we're also going to have a new playlist. So if you want to watch the hay barn being built all at once, we're going to have a playlist. And I'm thinking once the barn's done, we might make like a super video where it's like all the main points of construction in one video. Let me know if that's something you're interested in. Thanks for watching, guys. And as always, I'll see you in the next one.